Hi folks, welcome to Motovloggers Unplugged, episode 2. This week we have Jay, better known as Crazylegs on the bike. So let's get on with it. Jay, how you doing, mate? Good to have you here.
I'm all right, mate. Thank you very much for the invite. Very much appreciated.
Excellent, mate. Excellent. Very good of you coming on. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Shall we just delve straight in?
I think so. I'm ready than I'll ever be. I'm a bit nervous, but let's see how we go, eh?
Don't be nervous. It's just me. I'm going to ask you questions that I already know the answer to, but answer them anyway.
Okay.
Okay, question 1 is, what got you into motovlogging? Was there a particular moment that started it all?
Yeah, I think I bought a VFR, one of my very early bikes. I was looking on YouTube to see, obviously, reviews and things like that, and I came across Richie Vida's channel.
Right?
Seeing what he was doing, seeing what he was doing with the camera, and I thought, you know what, I like that. I'm going to have a go at that, and that's where it all started, really.
That bike that Richie Vida's got, that's the first bike that I wanted. And when I first passed my test in my 30s, I couldn't afford one.
Yeah, nice bikes, nice
Yeah,
bikes.
lovely bike, lovely bike. How did you come up with your channel's name?
So that's an easy one. So my nickname, I've got a long period of martial arts pedigree behind me, and one of my mates actually called me Crazylegs when I was into that because of the reason being into martial arts,
Yeah,
and it just seemed natural and fitting to be Crazylegs on a bike, basically, and that's how it all started. So,
good. I thought it was something to do with your dancing in your videos, no?
well, is that as well?
The first time you recorded while out on the bike, how did it feel to speak to the camera on the road?
Um, I think I just forgot straight away from the start that I had a camera there. And I
Right?
was just chuntering to myself, which I think we all have a little talk to ourselves sometimes, don't we?
Yeah,
And I think it's just obviously getting the words out and saying the right things that obviously comes with experience. But yeah, I didn't really have an issue with it.
yeah,
Didn't really think about it, to be fair, at the time.
yeah. I find it dead weird. I still find it weird doing it. But that's the first section done.
So
Easy as that. Gear and setup. Could you walk us through your current setup with your cameras, microphones, mounts, etc.?
yeah, so I'm a massive advocate for DJI cameras.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of things with GoPro and stuff like that, but I've always been aimed towards DJI anyway. And because my whole setup now, I've got two DJI Action 5s, always like to have the latest ones with me.
yeah,
One on the bike, one on the helmet, one on the bike. And then I've also got the Pocket 3 as well. And I've also got a DJI drone. And I think that's, unless something drastically changes or something amazing comes out, I think I'll always have the DJI. They've never let me down, ever.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm the same. And I hear you've got the new DJI mics, the small ones.
I have. I didn't really want to say too much about it yet because I've not really tested it. But
Oh, say no more then.
no, it's fine. It's fine. It's all right. It's I just don't think it's matches up to the quality of the mic 2 as yet,
No,
but it might have been the position of it in the helmet, so I just need to try it a bit more.
right. Okay. Okay. Mounts. Do you use any special mounts or anything, or is it just your standard?
So on the it's just standard. I hate to say GoPro ones, but it's the standard GoPro ones on the I think I've got the chin mount on one of my helmets, and then the other one was just like a cheapy Amazon one that I've
Yeah,
got on the other one. So I've got them on there, and then the one on the bike now because I've got the AOC C9. That's actually got a
yeah.
one built in on the bike, so that's what I've got on the bike
Right.
for the mount.
The DJI kind of magnetic with the two clips. That's very good as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. It's the fact that you can just take it off and put it back on so easily without having to unscrew things. Yeah, brilliant.
yeah, yeah. Definitely. What software are you using for your video editing?
So when I first started, believe it or not, I was actually doing it off my phone, just doing it off off a small handheld phone. I can't
All
remember
right.
what that software was at the time, but ever since I've sort of got it on the desktop, it's always been Filmora. I've had little goes at other software and stuff like DaVinci and Premiere Pro, but I'm always sort of led back to Filmora. It's
Yeah,
for me, I've learnt it through and through, and I'm too old in the tooth to start changing things now.
yeah. I mean, I've said to you before, but the quality of your video seems better than mine, and we're used even when we're both using Osmo 4s. Yours seems to be that wee bit better than mine. I don't know what it is, but
I think I think what it is, Graham, is, I've just gone back to standard settings on the camera, so I don't try and play with the settings like I always have done. I
Right.
think for the last probably 6, 7 months, I've just used what they come out the box with. Obviously, I
Yeah.
increase the frame rate and everything, but, the actual settings themselves, like the ISOs and stuff like that, I leave it. I
Yeah.
don't even touch it now.
So
So,
do you record in 60 frames per second?
no, I record in 30.
30? I see, that's what I do as well, but
Yeah,
always
4K
always
30.
feel yours looks better than mine.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Um, Okie dokie. What's the hardest part of managing a motovlogging channel, do you think?
Uh, it's gotta be content. It's gotta be trying to
Content,
find
yeah.
content, and also alongside my day job as well. It can sometimes there's crossover, and it can get a bit tricky sometimes. But I think you've just got to remember that you've got to enjoy it and not
Yeah,
try too hard at it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I like doing the editing part of it as well as
Same,
the
same, yeah,
actual filming it, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
Sometimes I spend longer editing it than I do filming it.
yeah. I think
Um,
that's where the magic happens when you edit it. When you film it, anybody at the end of the day can put a camera on the helmet, can't they? The
yeah,
magic is what you do after with it.
yeah, yep. What's the biggest challenge when it comes to recording while riding?
I think at one point mention that word again, GoPro, the biggest challenge was just to keep having to check to make sure it's still recording.
Yeah,
But with the DJIs, because I've got so much faith in the DJI now, I don't tend to do it as much.
right.
You don't see me do it anyway because I edit any of that out. But yeah, the biggest challenge is obviously batteries. If you've got bad weather as well, and you've got to keep wiping the lens, that's a bit of a pain as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously audio. Audio is a massive thing to get right, and you're not always gonna be 100% with it. Sometimes you can go backwards with it. It's just a nightmare.
Yeah, yep, definitely. Flying through these. How do you balance riding for pleasure versus riding for content? Do you ever feel like the camera takes away from the experience?
I used to, because I used to go out with a sole, focus that I was just gonna do it and film something,
Yeah,
and I was conscious I had the cameras on the bike and things like that, and then I was, like, looking for content. But now, what I do is if I'm going somewhere, I do put the cameras on probably all the time, but I don't always do an edit. So I
yeah,
just put them on, forget they're there, and then if there is anything to edit at the end of it, I do it that way, and then
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't feel it impedes then in it's sort of it is nice not to have the cameras on knowing that they're not on, but
yeah,
I don't let it bother me, to be fair.
yeah. I tend to, I usually plan out where I'm going and I film on my way there. I film being there, but then I switch them off on the way home.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's kind of 50-50.
yeah.
Um,
A lot of people, like, will keep pressing record, then stop, press record, then to me, you've gotta think about it. If you just stick it on the helmet and just let it do its thing, you don't have to think about it.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Personal favourites. Are there any motovloggers that inspire you?
So I mentioned, Richie Vida. He
Yep.
was the one that started it all off for me. And some of the content and the quality that's out there now, there's a lot of people who put some good stuff out, and I'd like to say that you inspire me, Graham, as well,
All right.
with some of the stuff you do, in your own unique way.
That
Peak is
20,
ano
that
Peak is
20
another
quid I
one.
owe you now.
Yeah, yeah, even people like Peaky and stuff like that, because it's all different. It's all different content, but it gives you ideas and it gives you things to aspire against, because people have got um, decent qualities in everything they do, aren't they? Really,
Yeah, yeah,
some people do stuff better than others, and
aye.
so yeah,
Yeah, even if there's a section you can take from one person and another
yeah.
section from another person and
I always watch. I'll always watch stuff on YouTube and think, oh, that's a good idea, but then try and do it in my way, so I'm not
yeah,
directly copying of somebody.
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah. Where are we now? Do you have a favourite video that you've made that stands out and what made it special?
There's a few videos where I've been out and I've had good days out, and I've actually sort of watched it back and thought, yeah, I quite like what I did with that one. But I think the main one for me is when I went to the Picos.
Yeah,
Simply because, there was a load of emotions with the Picos, especially on the second one where I fell off the bike on the
yeah,
trail.
yeah, yeah,
But like, when I fell off, obviously it was a bit of a low point, but then getting to the other end was a massive high point. And every time I watch that video, it's probably the only video that gives me them chills
Yeah,
because I remember being there and the emotions that I went through. So yeah, probably the Picos one.
yeah. Somewhere you don't go every day, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. This probably leads into the same thing. What's one ride or route you'd recommend every motorcyclist should try?
Well, to make it fair, I won't say the Picos, but I will say I was going to mention the NC 500 in Scotland and also the Wild Atlantic Way in Ireland. But I would say that if you're going to do them, don't make that your sole route. Don't follow the route. So the NC
Aye.
500, I wouldn't follow the route. I think you're always best going off piste
Yeah,
and doing
yeah,
it that way.
yeah,
Just to follow the route because there's so many people do it, and it's quite a commercial route, if you like, now because
yeah,
there's so many people at it. Try and incorporate other sections, but if you do a bit of it and then incorporate other bits where you come off it, I think that's the best thing to do. But yeah, definitely try those two because
yeah.
they're definitely up
Even
there.
even slightly coming off those routes, it's amazing how quieter the roads are.
Oh yeah, exactly,
You know,
100%. Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't have to go 100 miles off the route, just slightly, and
yeah.
it makes a huge difference.
Always take you somewhere different. Yeah.
Yeah, yep, yep. Like when you were up early this year, those routes that I took you, they weren't the normal routes. I mean, how quiet were the roads? You know, they were super
Mm.
quiet, weren't they?
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. The future, where do you see your channel going in the next few years? More of the
Um,
same, or are you going to do anything different? Or
Down the toilet. Like I mentioned earlier, you know, it's like I think we've got a small niche of the market, haven't we? We sit in a
yeah,
little corner as motovloggers, and I just think I don't know. I haven't really got any direct plans. I'm just gonna obviously try and get better with the editing
yeah,
and try and do things differently there. As regards the riding and stuff like that, I need to probably focus on maybe going to some newer places,
yeah.
and doing some epic trips, maybe even pulling drone work in as well, which I don't really do enough of. I don't think any of us do really do it, apart from you actually. But
I do a bit. Yeah, I do a bit.
yeah,
You know, plans to do any bike reviews or anything like that? No, nothing.
I've always said that I try and stay away from that. I will drop the odd review in now and again if I think something's worthy of doing. I have done reviews on bike. Well, they've more been not reviews, but more what do you call it? First impression
Hmm.
rides.
Hmm.
And I find that they probably do because it's more of a real world. I'm not talking about the bike. I'm talking about how it is for me, how
Yeah,
tall I am, and
yeah,
how easy it is to get on and off it and stuff like that.
yep.
So yeah, so just pretty much as it is, really, Graham.
Right. Okay. This is a kind of similar question. Would you ever consider expanding into other types of content, such as bike reviews or
Um,
gear reviews or anything like that?
OnlyFans. No, um, again, I've not really thought. I mean, obviously, I've got a martial arts background, and I think if I was younger and I was still heavily active in that, I'd probably go down that route with doing a bit of
Right.
teaching tuition videos.
Yeah.
It's something I could probably do now. It's just obviously demonstrating. So I'd probably pull my hip out and stuff doing it, um, but that's definitely that would have been something because that's another one of my interests. I don't
Yeah.
think I could do another channel on something I wasn't really passionate about.
Yeah.
I've got to
Yeah.
be passionate because it's got to be
Yeah.
truth on it when you do it. So
I sometimes buy some motorbike gear and I think, should I do a wee video on this? But then I think there's already 1,000 already there on the exact
mm,
same thing. So that's why I don't bother doing it.
yeah, yeah.
Because and the 1,000 videos will be better than the one I make anyway. So
I wouldn't say that.
no, so I don't bother. Advice for new motovloggers. What's one thing you wish you knew before you started?
How odd it was.
How
Um,
expensive it was.
yeah, how expensive it was. I won't even want to write down on paper how much I've spent. But
Mhm.
everybody's a bit of a joke where everyone will say, "Oh, if there's something new come out, Jay's got it." But at the same token, all my older gear I do sell.
Yeah, so you're not paying
So
full price for the new stuff.
yeah, so even
Yeah.
if I don't get full price, I'll still get probably off minimum off or 3/4 of the price towards the new gear.
Yeah.
And I just like to have the new gear because I just want to be the best you want to be. You've got to have the best stuff, haven't you? At the end of the
Yeah,
day.
no, that's the way I see it as well. Yep,
So
definitely. Any advice for someone just starting out?
don't do it. Again. No, I think if you want to start out, don't try and look at the bigger picture or the end game of it, because there's a lot of people think that just because you put a lot of effort and stuff in a video that you're going to get thousands and thousands of views. You're not.
Yeah.
The content is you've got to get that person through the door before they start seeing your content. So if your thumbnail or anything like that's not any good, then they're not even going to entertain you.
Yeah.
But if you're just starting out, don't, like I say, don't go for the end game. Don't try and think you're going to be a millionaire and stuff like that, 'cause you're not. I will just get one camera. Don't even bother. It can even be a cheap camera or anything like that. Stick it
Yeah.
on your helmet. Go out for a ride. Just be yourself. Be natural.
Yeah.
And just see what comes of that. And then you'll find your own way. Everybody finds their own path once they've been doing it for 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. It's who was it? It was Martin Alkimoto.
Yeah.
He spoke to me once, and he says you need to change your titles and make them more descriptive or
Enticing.
more enticing. And I done
Mm.
it, and it actually increased the views on my videos by hundreds. You know, I normally get maybe 160, 180 views, but they're going up to like 300-400 now.
Yeah.
And just by changing the name on the title.
And the title on the thumbnail doesn't always have to be the same as what's on the title on the video.
Right.
I found that out, but I think that it's like that Scotland one I did. I mean, that's doing quite well. It's in its thousands. When I met you.
Yeah.
And again, it's just like it's just having that right description to pull people in.
Yeah. Yep. That's you. You have answered all questions.
Oh, have I passed? Do I get a prize?
You have passed. I owe you £20 anyway. Again, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate you doing that, taking the time to do it.
Thank you, mate. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm loving what you're doing with this new Motovloggers Unplugged as well. And
just trying some new things.
Yeah.
Excellent. So again, thank you very much, mate. It's really appreciated.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.